Okay guys, I decided I'm just going to do a walkthrough. That is literally how short this trail is, so I can do that. And this is this has been in our family for about 5 generations. My grandfather died at age 95 with Alzheimer's, and he was a bit of a hoarder. So I've got a real mess. So it's been a real challenge to just get this place cleaned up, and it's basically it's pretty rough. So this is the stuff that's kind of fun here. There's just this a little jump here. It's just enough to pull your bike up and push it back down. You almost don't even get to push it back down. You kind of land flat, and then you have to bring in your momentum pretty quick here. I'm just barely establishing berms, as you can see, and then you've got a horseshoe turn to the right here that I just have to keep working on. So as you can see, there's orange flags. So to the left that's a rideable trail. It just hasn't been raked, and it definitely hasn't been tuned. You can see what you're going to see is you'll see where I've ridden, and then I'm raking back over stuff, so you don't see as many tire tracks as I've ridden, because I basically put a rake in a problem area and ride it and then hop off the bike and fix it. So you can see I hit this. I got a broad axe that I use, and I just cut all that out of there. If you go to auctions around here, you can get some really good heavyweight hoes and old school tools like adzes and not froze, but go somewhere where you can buy old tools at auctions, or some of these guys that collect stuff, and you can get a lot of cool stuff. So I'm gonna stop here. This is really kind of a bright part of the day, but this is not connected. It's a connection, it just hasn't been raked yet, but that'll go up there. I'll show you where the logs are up there. So you can see the other side there is still grown up, but I've got stuff roughed out over there. It's got to get the brush mower over there. And then this is kind of a fun little fast section. Whoa. And it's the clay, if there's any moisture, the clay, as you guys know better than I do, is quite slippery. So I'm wanting to make sure that that doesn't send someone into a tree. But I've been riding it, and it's pretty comfy. So this is just a traverse. I should have done this earlier. I just kind of did it impromptu. So right here where that rotten bit is, this tree and those two little dudes there and one right there, those are all going to come out when I just got to get the saw sharpened. I've already used it quite a bit. So this will be a jump between this tree, and I'm leaving this guy because it keeps you on line when you finish. Mosquitoes are already eating me. And then that'll roll down into here, and then I've already got trails over there, but they have to be mowed again, but there'll be a crossing right there, and I've already got the material to get across there as a skinny. Eventually, when everything gets compacted for enough speed, then there'll be jumps. Flat, easy, fun jumps that encourage people, not scare the shit out of them and potentially maim them. So, mosquitoes are fucking with me big time. So you can see I've got the orange flags, and so again, between those two trees there's going to be another creek crossing, and there's a couple more trees at the creek crossing. It's going to be a fun little bridge. I also want to, probably won't be until next year, put in a couple of teeter-totters, and this kind of compresses on the front end. I'm trying to build it up a little bit, and here, continuing on the same loop, I'm basically just walking you the loop, but I'm showing you the places where things go out. So again, this is all grown up. Back in the winter, I was able to ride through here, and that goes to a levee that's kind of fun. And then I've got that cut down but not cleared yet, but there's going to be a skinny that goes basically right like my finger right there. So I'm just gonna, this is a switch around. I got one sapling here on the inside curve that I want to take out so I can get a little bit more bermage. And this is one kind of mushy spot that I'm trying to navigate around. Not trying to, I am navigating around it. I just want to make it a little bit more fun. So this trail can be done either direction, and it gives you good challenges for climbing and technique, and good rewards. There's little moments, very brief moments of fun and speed, and you have to earn them. But there on the right's a drop in, and on the left here is a climb out. See, it's got old junk here that I've inherited the responsibility of cleaning up. And then here's just a log rollover with a little mini manual opportunity, so you can do a little rocking horse action here to get that practice in. And then that log roll, that right down there is the marshiest bit, so I've just not been messing with it right now. More fun stuff. Anybody need a set of discs? And then I've had storms have brought some trees down that kind of held me back, and I just made the best of it. So as you can see here, I got a log rollover. This is where I mentioned a couple minutes ago in the video that there'd be logs. So I'm going to be putting a log, basically like a small rick. So you approach in here and you'll be able to ride over that. But then here on the left, I'm going to cut this out to give you the approach in there. And between those two trees, you got a divot there. And then I'm going to cut all those guys out, and you'll be able to send it out there. So you'll be able to jump right here and land anywhere in that shadow, and all that stuff's going to get cut out. So you'll have like 30 feet of just, you could freaking slide on your face if you want. In the worst case scenario, you get some mud and some poison ivy. So this will just be a jump over here, right here. And then you can't see it because of the shadows, but there's a little spot right here. I can put a little kicker right here to land down in there. And so I'm just bringing you around. So as you can see, this is a very short loop. This is the kind of loop that I'm doing it just with one gear. You just pick a middle gear that you like, and you just keep the saddle down the whole time. You don't need to sit down for this. This is about a leg workout and technical. And so that's this section. And then I'm going to take you over to some more stuff. Actually, let's just walk through it. Kind of run through it real quick. So I don't have a GoPro here, or else I would do a roll through. And so I will probably set up, I got a tripod with a camera, and because you can't GoPro yourself, I'm going to be doing a little bit of videos here. Right now I'm just struggling with the heat and with recovering from, if you see my arms are, I got poison ivy all over my arms. It goes all the way up to my armpits. And now it's on my back and a little bit on my forehead. And okay, so I was going to show you that big, that's the top. It goes all the way back there. There's a big old pine tree there. And that oak tree right there is super solid. So I've got to cut out the root ball. You can see the root ball right there at the tip of my finger. And that'll be a 90-degree turn off of the trail that you've already seen. And so that's going to be North Shore. Right where the fork is, that'll be boards, and then you'll be able to pop off or roll down off of and come right around. So imagine coming off of the end of that tree and then circling right about around to right where the tip of my finger is where the root ball is for the pine. And that gets you across these fucking mosquitoes. So anyway, I'm going to rush through this real quick. Hopefully I don't bounce the video too much. This is just a little connector. Got a Y here. Going out there, you can see I've got it fairly groomed. This is just an entrance. Goes back up the trailhead that you've seen with a little bit of a twist. And this area just killed me. I had two big trees that fell here in, I guess they fell like in May or something. So I came back to what I thought I had conquered, and I had to redo it all. So this tree here will be a Y So you take a right here, and back in the winter I was sessioning where that sunlight is. I got a little jump there, so it basically just goes around right there, walking right into poison ivy. I literally have to wash my shoes and everything when I touch stuff. It's the one thing that just kills me. So this right here, this one, you really have to work at it to get out up in the air. It's safe because it doesn't make you jump easily. It makes you create technique. So you basically pull up and get to the top, and then you get a nice little steep. So you're literally doing a, think of a capital A with your bike. And then I got to clean this up, but this was the way I was returning, is right through here. And then, so that's that little loop there, just for that fun little jump. So I've shown you one little rolly drop and two little bermy jumpy things. Then this pine's gonna go. This tree will probably stay. Cut the rest of that down. But what I've been finding is I cut stuff and then I rake and then I got to stop. So that's just a waste of cutting. So I got to get to where I can rake down and I can cut things a lot lower so people don't hit their tires. But I dropped a tree that was in my way, and I'm building that up for a little steeplechase action. So there'll be a jump off there. So this and this will be gone so that you can land cleanly all the way down through here, nice and safe for quite a ways. So I don't want anybody coming onto our property and running into a tree. This would be a concern of my parents for sure, but I don't want to be responsible for anyone being hurt. So here I got to burn it off again. I've been using it as a burn bowl, and that bowl already, I've been dropping in. There's an oak tree right here that's in the way. You can miss it, but I wouldn't want someone else to ride by it and hit it because it could be devastating. So I'm going to cut it out. So it's going to roll in and then come out. And then I've cut that tree, which is this one laying across here. And I'm going to cut that tree there. So you'll have bolt entrance, bolt exit, and then from the trail you'll be able to do the same thing over there and then through there. Okay, I've already got like 10 million bites. I probably only like 10 because I'm fully covered like a wuss. So here you go. Here's a shot of the drop-in. So I have been dropping in on either side of this dude. I was going out right there before the winter, back in the winter, before the ivy came back. I had all this burned off, believe it or not. So that goes back to trailhead. And then you can see this goes through here. So as you can see, this is all rideable right now, guys. Got to wash your bike off at the end because you're going to be throwing up some poison ivy pesto up on your bike probably. But more wheels will beat those little leaves down, and that's what I'm hoping for. You help me beat the poison ivy down. So I'm picking up trash, old tricycles, and stuff like that. So I'm taking you this little meandering path, and then you can see where these big oak trees are. You can see the blue building back there. That's the yard. It's pretty scrappy, just an old shack. The old house that my dad was born in burned down in '98, and my Papaw was already in a bad way. My granny died early, and so he couldn't really look after himself. He was a World War II vet. So it's a big mess. It's a challenge. So here we have just fun. These are kind of mushy. I'm going to replace probably some of them, just so people don't rely on something one day. Look in the distance in the video here. You'll start to see the approach to the big oak tree that I'm starting as a skinny. I've tried to get up on it with my bike before I did the chainsaw work on it, and it was just too steep. So there will be a ramp to it. So this will be a split. You can go left through here or right through here, and the right gives you access to the skinny, and then straight gives you access to cross over log roll that way. There's also an entrance coming in from the left for log roll. And then when you get to right here, this Y's back, and that's a connector that I just have to clean up. So you can imagine going through there to that stump that you see in the light. And then if you come from the other direction, if you come from that direction, then this is roughed out, and this returns back to that other kind of steeplechase area that I just showed you. So all this stuff connects, so it's going to be like spaghetti, but you're going to get to pick and choose. And this here is my very first bicycle. Not quite, but I found it in the woods, and I'm going to set it up somewhere. I'm going to find this old stuff and put it where it's cool, you know. So here you go. Here is the approach. So the only thing that you're going to see different when it's ready for you is right about there to back here will just be some treated lumber, and that'll be nice, easy. Now this, as you can see, is not fun. I'm going to put some rope across here in case someone falls to the right, because it's quite a drop there, probably at least 8-foot drop, and just a bunch of stuff to get tangled in. So anyway, this will be a roll up and a nice easy. Got a little dap here with this guy on the left, and then this will have plenty of room to fall off to the right. A roll, and if you finish it you can roll out, but I'm going to fill this in a little bit. I'm going to put a little kicker here so you can do just the quick little transition and then whoop it off, or you can go like this, and then you're probably going to want to exit right, which is downhill, where you can see that burnt piece of wood. And then that takes you off that way. Then you can see it switches back. You're not going to switch back. You're going to approach from up on the hill, which I'll show you here. But then right there is going to be a drop. It's a pretty, you could almost drop it right now on a full suspension bike. But from right there will be down into there, and then that continues onto other trails. So all the other side of the creek is going to get ignored this year. That sucks. So real quick, this is the entrance to, and you can see what I do is so stuff doesn't accumulate. What I found out is stuff that sits on the ground feeds the ivy, but if I take these saplings and I kind of lace them in and keep them off the ground, they'll not rot as quickly, and I can still rake things out under them. So this is a ridge. This is spider webs. Go figure. Sorry guys, mine. You can find a new place. So, so this is a ridge coming from the yard, and so it's just going to be an approach alley. But I've got one skinny already made that I'm going to drag out here, and I still need to get my truck in here, but I'll probably put the skinny somewhere around here so that when you're riding out here, you're not just, I don't want anything to be boring. I want everything to be fun to make up for the lack of mileage. Cameo shot from a mosquito. It's a theme around here. Okay, so, oh shit, this is like 18 minutes. So I'm trying to cruise through. Trying to walk through. Sad, huh? Oh, I haven't, yeah, see. So what's left of a little log here. So the raking is what really needs to be done, and it just takes time to get down to the clay where the roots don't grow anymore. And that's when you start to get your berms. So these logs disappear when you create berms. So the first thing I do is I establish that's going to get cut out right there. The first thing I do is I start the beginning of the berm where your wheel bumps and compresses, and then after that you don't have to have the dirt. You pick a good line. And so this will all rake down. It looks like I'm going to be renting a mini excavator here. And if that happens, then I'm not going to cheat anything, and so there's a shot of the log, that big boy. So fun, in my opinion. And so this right here, right now I'm just laying stuff down so people don't go where they shouldn't go right now. But as you can see, it's going to be a downhill approach, plenty of speed. The loam has to go, the bumps have to go, it has to have wheels on it for a while to get the speed for a confident jump. And when I get the mini excavator, assuming that I do, and I think I will, then I'm going to push some of this back and give a backside to this, so it won't, you won't case it on the landing. It won't hurt to land hard a little bit right here. You just lose momentum, and and then you got a little bit of a climb up there, and then that goes up, and then I got some steep sections with some beech trees and stuff. So that's pretty much the quick rundown, so that you can kind of get a feel for. I do trail building in California. I go out there with the dog, and this is just what I do for joy. This is a creek crossing in the meantime. Those two trees will get cut out and boom, right there, and I got boards to put across there if it gets mushy. And then you can just see the funness from here. So I hope it looks like I've done some work. If you saw it before and you saw how much stuff I've cut and raked and burnt, then you kind of get the idea. But you guys are from here, so I think you already know what the idea is.